Okay, so hey everybody, I want to first start off by apologizing. It's been a little bit since I've been able to create a new video or post anything for anybody with COVID-19 and the effects of the coronavirus affecting all of our communities and things. I have had a lot less time to make things separate of just my regular tasks that I have to do every day. So today I'm going to go ahead and go through a basic instructions or kind of a starting of Last Shelter and the things that are going to be really beneficial for our new team members or the new people that are going to be playing the game. So bear with me, as this is going to be a fairly long video because there's a lot to go through. I will post in the comments or maybe just in the description of the video where certain things will be discussed, and hopefully I can address all of the questions that people may have so that it won't be too boring for people. Thanks. Bye-bye. So getting started, I'm going to go over, first of all, the basic information about your base. This right here is your main base. You can make changes to it, make changes to its appearance by changing things here in the architecture school. When you first start out, when your base is, I think, level 1 through 10 or something like that, you don't have this school of architecture, so you can't do anything to make your base change. But you'll find that on the map, there are lots of people who have different skins and things like that. As you progress, you are able to unlock other skins or even buy other stuff. Not super valuable, but there are some bonuses now that go along with the skins, so give that some thought. When people are talking about the total power of your base, and one thing that they will later use to identify if you're a good target for attacking is this number here at the top of the page. On here it shows 1.102 million for me. This is one of my farms because I didn't want it to be my main base showing new folks, look at this giant target for you, even though you're only at several 100,000. It doesn't help. So looking at this here is 1.102 million. Little Big Head Bob is my base here. In each one of these categories here talks about different things that mean different things for the base. Total power is the combination of all the things that are below it. True power is the power that is associated with the actual units that you have available to attack other people or to use for gathering and things like that. That would be in your armored personnel carriers or your APCs. And the higher the number that is, the more troops that you have. Each different tier of troops, so T1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and potentially 10 in the near future, have different values associated with each unit. So the higher the level, the higher the number. The building power here is a combination of all the power of each one of these buildings. If you look at any building, click on details, it tells you what the power is with that specific level of that specific building. And here under more info, it breaks down what each of those values is as the building level increases. That number is important to you because on the Clash of Zones or State versus State Day, which I'll explain in a little bit, associated with building, those levels are how you score more points for Clash of Zones or what if State versus State, whatever you want to call it. The next category on here is technology power. That is similar to building power, except it relates specifically to these different technologies that are for your base. They are each of the categories here. And if you click on any one of these, again, there's a little info button here. It tells you what the power is that's associated with that different technology. So going through all those as you build up your base, once you get it all maxed out, it'll be a little bit over 10 million total if you have done all of the training. And again, going to the Clash of Zones or State versus State daily challenge that you have to do, the score that comes from the power number in each of those trainings will then translate to your daily score, your daily ranking on the Clash of Zones. Then the next category here is hero power. This is a recently added function, and it relates to the heroes that you have. They do it to help limit migration and things of that nature. And then also it's partially indicative of how strong your base really is. If you look at this number here that's right next to the 3 little bullets, this particular hero doesn't offer a ton of value, but he's 41,850 power. And if you look at each one of them individually, they all have different numbers. And as you add them all together, it equals that power number that you have with this base. It's 463,260. The extremely powerful bases that have all of the awesome heroes have close to 20 million power, and I think that the max is about 20 or 21 or 22 million. If you had literally every hero and they were all maxed out, that's what it would be. So something to shoot for, I guess, for people that want to get to that level. So moving on from combat power, I'm going to talk about some of the important things that a new person to the game needs to be working on so that they can improve their strength of their base and ultimately progress in the game itself. Each day there are tasks that you can be performing that will be located under daily tasks. That list only exists once you have joined an alliance. If you're not in an alliance, there are no tasks other than your main tasks. Each day, though, if you can achieve 500 points, there are rewards at each one of these categories. You can look and see what they are. But I have always made it important to get to the 420 points category because there are some real benefits that come with that. As you're growing, getting to the 500 points category would be very good because of the resource benefits that it gives to you. It's one way to get some of the bigger and harder to collect resources that you need to upgrade your base and upgrade the technology that is associated with your base. So keep that in mind. If you want to be successful, use those daily tasks. Also, as you go along, using these main tasks as an indicator of the next thing that you're supposed to be working on is a good plan. It isn't the only thing that you can be doing, but it does give you a pretty clear idea of what comes next. So it's very helpful. If you look at it, though, there's also some really good rewards that come along with it. And again, getting those rewards, getting those resources is beneficial for you in progressing in the game. So having all of that stuff to do is helpful. I know that a lot of folks often struggle knowing what is the next and most important thing to be working on. In fact, I've had somebody ask me that probably 100 times just this week. What is the next thing that should I be working on? So look at that list first of all, and it's very good to be working on those things. So in the heads-up display here, there are several different buttons, and I'm going to explain what each one of them does because I think that, again, they can be very confusing to people who are new to the game, and it's easy to miss some of the things that are here. This first one here that looks like a hammer and a wrench, up the left are the construction vehicles that you currently own. As you move on, you will begin with 2 construction vehicles. You'll begin with 1, and you'll quickly get a second one, I think, by level 6, base level 6. And then you can get a few more. As of right now, I have 4. And on my main base, I have 7. So there are ways to get more throughout the game, including buying new ones or just progressing through the regular content as it goes. So that's what that button there is. It indicates what those guys are doing, and if they're busy, you can only use the number that you have at any given time. They are used to upgrade buildings and also to transport resources to buildings. For example, if I need to put oil into my generator here, it takes one of them. Also, to fill my ration truck with water and food, it also takes one. So laying out your base may matter some if you're really trying to do things quickly. The closer together things are, the easier it is for your construction vehicles to do things. If things are really far away, it takes a long time. So like I just started that one, take 20 seconds to be able to fill it up. So if you're trying to move between things quickly and you only have 1 or 2 construction vehicles, be careful. Make sure that your stuff is laid out in an efficient manner in order to help you move things more quickly. And the more advanced your base gets, the more stuff that you're trying to do all the time. For example, on high-level bases, you have 6 of these chip plants and 8 of these energy refining plants that require being filled several times a day. If you don't refill them, they don't do anything. And the same is true also of your generators and your ration vehicle. So try to keep that all in mind. You don't want to use all of your construction vehicles to build for building day or construction day, because then you won't be able to do some of the other necessary tasks. The next button here that looks kind of like a graduated cylinder is a indicator. It's an icon that brings up your research that you are currently working on or have to work on. When you go into this list, it tells you the next thing that you should work on according to the structure of the game. You don't have to listen to that. You can do whatever you want. But that is what that button does. The next one down is your APCs, or Armored Personnel Carriers. These are the units or the vehicles that you use to attack enemies, also gather from tiles, or perform national quests for your class events. And they're used for lots of different things. So at any given time, you can have a total of 4 APCs. There is no way to get more APCs. And as you get into the more advanced stuff, you can see on the other videos that I've made that there are some things that function similarly to APCs, but they are not APCs. 4 is the max. Don't let anybody tell you different. The next thing I'll bring up is over on the other side of the screen, is right here. You click on the top one. These are the benefits or the things that you can purchase. Personally, I'm kind of against that. I have spent money. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't. But if you watch my videos more, you'll see that a lot of what I'm talking about is in reference to ways to not have to spend money. The game can be played freely, and you can actually proceed very far in the game without spending money. There is a point at which you run out of stuff to do, and the only way to improve quickly is by spending money, but I would suggest finding ways to not do that until the very end, so to speak. Once you have level 25 base and you've maxed out everything, then start considering if you want to spend money. Up until that point, don't do it. There are other ways. The next button down here is the benefits tab. Again, these are things that you can purchase. Here today, this limited recruitment is available. It helps you buy a certain type of heroes. But there are different benefits that come and go throughout the course of the game. But there are things you can purchase at any given time. These are things that may benefit you some. You can read what they do. I'm not going to tell you that you can or can't do it. It's stupid or whatever. It doesn't matter to me what you want to do. But they do different things. So read what the instructions are and how they work. Seasonal Challenge, for example, relates to Doomsday. Arms Supplier relates to getting daily resources. Project Hero relates to getting orange quality heroes. Basic orange quality heroes, which gives you a list here of what you can get, all of which are attainable without spending money. So keep that in mind. The next button down here is the events button. And here within the events button are a few different things that I will address more in just a little bit. I'm just showing what is here. The events show what are currently going on, which are in progress. There are Clash of Zones, hourly challenges, Doomsday Conquest, and state immigration. Once states are to the allowable level of immigrating, state immigration opens up. It's the only one I'm going to explain for right now. There are lots of states, and likely if you are new to the game, you may be in a state where immigration is not allowed, so that you won't have this option. But if you're in one of the states that's maybe 800 or lower, state immigration is probably open, and you can move to any state within a certain range dependent on what state you started in. Starting soon is activities that are going to be coming up soon, just like it sounds. So that part is self-explanatory. Within the events, though, there are events that can be useful to you, one of which is the zombie siege defense. If you are in an alliance on a daily basis, or not daily basis, but every other day, a zombie siege is available. What that is, once it is activated by a R4, rank 4 or rank 5 of a particular alliance, there will be 10 waves of zombies that come out and attack all of the bases. They won't actually cause any damage, but it'll make your base look like it's getting damaged. It'll cause your screen to light up red and so on and so forth. It can be kind of freaky to people who don't know what it is. But the goal is that if you set it up properly, if you have your defense set up, you can actually get rewards by having a strong enough defense to stop the zombies as they attack. Don't feel badly if you can't stop them all. It's not uncommon for a level 25 base to not be able to finish all 10 rounds or waves. But there are some skills to go along with it. Anyway, use that as much as possible because it does come with benefits. The next part of that, in talking about zombies, is that on the map you'll see that there are zombies all over the place. And it's easy to wonder what the point of them is, or how to use them, how to benefit from them. First of all, you have to start with the lowest level ones. They're the weakest. Once you have combat power of 100, so your armored personnel carrier can have 100, which is right here next to the gun, next to the bullets, excuse me. It says 180,000, so obviously that's more than 100. I can defeat that. As you go up, that number is higher, 40,000 on that level 8. And each different kind of zombie is more challenging than others. So plague zombies, which give you food, are the easiest in any particular number. Then ancient zombies are the next easiest after that. Shuffling zombies are the next after that, I think. Yep, those are the oil ones. And mutated zombies are the hardest, the ones that you can get iron from. Actually, that's not true. The rebel camps are the hardest. Rebel camp is going to be cash that is associated with them. And as you get stronger, you can attack more and more of those. One thing, though, that you can get from them that is hard to get in any other way is energy fragments. You can get energy fragments when you attack, and those energy fragments can then be used to make material, or to purchase material for making APC parts, which that's kind of an advanced concept, but I would suggest attacking zombies as often as possible, because in addition to those energy fragments, you can also get courage medals, which courage medals are an important resource. Right there, that's what they look like, courage medals. They are used for the higher and more advanced technology that you need to be able to get to the end game. So, for example, that technology right there requires 100 courage medals. And without courage medals, you can't progress. So, when you're still trying to build up and you aren't able to get rewards in other ways, attacking zombies is a useful way to do that. There are also these boss zombies that exist, and dependent on where you are in the game, there may be 2 or even 3 different kinds of zombies. Right now there's 2 available. Sorry about that. There are what we would call boss zombies that are available, and dependent on what type of season that you're in, you may have Wendels to attack, or adjudicators, and these have different benefits that go along with them. There are 4 different levels of Wendels that you can take. There are level 1, level 5, level 10, and level 15, where there's only 1 level of adjudicator. But again, if you look at them by clicking on them, you can see what the rewards are and how strong you need to be. These are only attackable in a rally. I can't attack it by myself. See how it says rally attack? If I click rally attack, it gives me the option of the number of minutes I will wait for the rally. What that rally is, it means that all of your team members will be able to join that up to the limit based on your own base. You can have them all join, and then you can attack these Wendel clowns or adjudicators together. And by doing that, you gain some other rewards or other benefits that you can't get any other way in the game, such as the free serums for healing for Doomsday, which you can get here from the adjudicator. Also, you can see you can get stone blocks and honor experience, so on and so forth. And from these guys, you can get cash and also these hero recruitment tickets. So there's definitely some value in hitting those guys, but it does take fairly strong players to defeat level 15. So keep that in mind. You can't do it when you're a level 5 or level 6 base. You're not going to win. And even when you're an 18 or 19, you may take some damage by doing that. When you do take damage, you're going to have to heal it, heal your units, and you have to pay for that. You have to pay for the resources and time. So I started the healing there. I can request help from my allies, and they can help me. But then if I have available speed ups, I can use them to speed up to heal. Again, all of that is necessary information, I guess, but you don't have to do it that way. You can heal and just let it go, and it'll finish. But that speed up ability is there. So then the next thing I want to talk about is heroes. And this is going to be very short, the portion about heroes, because I have a whole video on it. There are two different types of heroes. There are battle heroes, which combat heroes. They have skills that are associated with attacking, and some of them are better at different things. And then there are what you would call development heroes, stationing heroes. And so they have different benefits associated with things like making your food production better or producing more cash. So look at them all. Watch the video separately that I have about heroes and how to use them, because it is probably one of the most important parts of the game, how to use heroes properly, and especially once you get to higher levels and you're maxed tech and your base is level 25 or whatever, your heroes are probably the most important thing. Heroes and part usage, which again I have separate videos for both of those things. So have a look at those, check them out, and try to understand them from there. But for right now, when you're under level 14, probably those things aren't super important, because there's other things that are more critical, I guess. The next thing to talk about is technology and how to use it. Technology is, top 5 most important things in the game. Without certain technologies, it is impossible to be strong. And in reality, when you're in a lower level state, let's say, under maybe 500, if you're not max technology, you're going to get your butt kicked regularly. So work on getting your technology upgraded as soon as possible. And the technology that you should primarily focus on completing is this zone commemoration. The reason that you want to finish that early is because if you look here, once you get to one more reward, which is the last technology in zone commemoration, it doubles all of the rewards that you get on a daily basis. So you want to get to that, because those rewards are very important later on. You have all these resources, and you have maximums, or you have caps, I guess, on what you can hold and all of these things. But when you get to like a level 25 base, for example, and you're trying to upgrade to a level 25 base, you need 170 million wood. And like, for example, I have a level 19 base here that's just used to farm. I only have 63 million total. And I have a capacity of 8 million. To upgrade the storage capacity is really expensive too. So it's all additive. The more rewards you can get early, the better. The more diamonds that you can get, the better, because you can use them for other stuff. Don't use your diamonds, don't use your rewards in a way that isn't intelligent, I guess. Try to be as efficient as possible, because if you don't, it's almost necessary to spend money if you aren't going to follow a good plan. So make a good plan and, try to follow it. When you are progressing in the game, you're going to be highly tempted to buy stuff. And I know I addressed this, but I'm going to reiterate it. Don't buy stuff. The thing that I think is probably the most tempting is to buy cash, because there are points when you feel like I can't get enough cash. So there's these deals, there's daily deals that you can buy. It's a ripoff, like a super ripoff. So don't buy it. Avoid it at all costs. Figure out a way. Become a raider, and hit farms. Make 100 farms that you can take cash from. My point being, don't buy stuff. Don't spend money unless you absolutely have to. If you're going to have to quit the game in order to progress without spending money, then maybe spend the money, but otherwise, don't do it. So, having that been said, I guess the next most important thing that I want to address is classes. I said just a second ago, become a rater. What does that mean? Well, why do I want to be a rater? So there's different classes, and again, I have a whole video based on these things. So go ahead and watch that. But there are classes that all have different abilities, different benefits, if you will. And if you click here on this class building, you can see what they are. This farm that I'm on right now, looking at right now, is a trader. The reason I like traders for farms, is that they have some benefits associated with producing more cash, and also they don't have any protection on the resources that they have. So if they have a lot of resources, I can take them all by hitting them, by attacking them, where farmers and builders have some resource protection. So I like them that way. That's just personal preference, though. Farmers, like I said, have resource protection. Depot protection is what that's talking about. But there's also downside. There's upside in that they gather better, they produce more, they have a building that actually gives you extra resources on a daily basis. So there are different reasons to have these different things, but personally I like being a raider for my main base because it has the best ability to take resources from others, including cash, which no other classes can take cash from other bases. And cash is one of the hardest resources to accrue. So without being a trader, which produces a ton of extra cash, or being a raider, getting cash is really hard. So keep that in mind. Throughout the beginning of this video, I talked about the clash of zones, or state versus state, depending on what language is your main language. Some people might call it SVS, state versus state is what that stands for, or COZ, which is COZ, clash of zones. And those are the same thing. Don't be confused, don't be concerned if somebody says SVS or COZ, depending on what you hear. It's talking about this. Every day of the week, there are different events. Today's event that I'm on is researching technology, which makes today Wednesday. Every Wednesday, with the exception of every fifth week, is important for your state competitively. On the fifth week, it's a warm-up day, so you're not competing against anybody. You're basically just getting ranked, but you still have the ability to do these things. If you do save all of your technology research for those days, you get special benefits for completing certain amounts of technology in any given day. I have a whole video called Hacking Dailies, and that's what it's talking about. Go ahead and watch that. It is a big benefit for building resources, gaining diamonds, and then later being able to use them. But each day, like I said, has a different benefit, or has a different activity that you're supposed to be working on. Mondays, after what we would refer to as reset, which I'll discuss in just a second. After reset on Mondays, gathering is the event. On Tuesdays, building is the event. Wednesdays, technology research. Thursdays is heroes. Fridays is troops, so building of troops. Saturdays is kill event, which is the day that you can go and attack other people and get benefits out of it, gain value or gain points, gain rewards for killing other units. And then Sundays are choose your own adventure, if you will. They are a day wherein you select which of the days you want to do. If you're in a warm-up week, Saturday and Sunday are select your own adventure days, but you get to choose from the different days. Within each given day, there is a schedule, which again, on the Hacking Dailies video that I made, it goes over this schedule, and I've even included a link where you can download that schedule in that other video. There are hourly activities every single day, and that schedule does not change. The only thing that changes is what time it is for you in relation to your own personal day. if you have daylight savings time or not. Any given hour, though, on Technology Day, you might have technology power, you might have research speed ups that you can do, but they have pretty good rewards that go with getting this third box. So try to get as many of those done as you can. If you do them all on the same days, if you do tech research on research day, the hourly challenges are also beneficial for that. So, if I finish third box here, I get all these resources, but I also at the same time get these resources. So there's definitely some value to efficiently doing them on the same days. Now, I mentioned reset just a little bit ago. What reset is referring to is this daily time. Just like in the real world, every day is 24 hours. At 2400 on here, it becomes reset. So it'll go down to 0 again. And dependent on where you are in the world, that time is different. In the central United States, currently that is 9 p.m. It changes though. If you're in Hong Kong, for example, I believe 12 noon is reset. So pay attention to that, because once reset occurs, a new day is happening. So for me, at 9 p.m. on Sunday evenings, it has become Monday. Everything that happens after that is now Monday, just as if that was midnight. It's obviously not midnight, but the day on the game has reset. So keep that in mind. And when somebody is referring to reset, or gives a specific time and calls it game time, this is what that is talking about. Here, under the 3 dots, it goes into settings, tells you the world time or game time. I have now gone through all of the things that I think are super valuable in the game. I've showed you all the buttons on the top of the screen on the heads-up display, so I'll quickly go through what each of these things here is in the main menu buttons, and that'll be it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am happy to answer them for you, and if there's another video that I can make for you that'll help, please tell me. I would be happy to do that. So here are the 3 dots. That's your settings. You can go and change your settings. You can give feedback on the translations. You can do all sorts of other stuff. You can change the name of your base. So you could have that name if you want to. Or you could change the language of your base. This is really important, because if you change your language to Spanish, for example, and then you type in English, other people won't be able to translate your messages. If you are going to type in English and make your settings on your game English, because then other people can translate it. And also that is true. So if, for example, if you have your language set to French and somebody sends you a message in French, you will not be able to translate that message. So if you don't speak French, don't set your language as French. Message notifications, you can actually change your notification settings here, make it so that the game changes, all that stuff. So all those different things are self-explanatory. The game instructions are totally worthless. Watch videos, ask questions. Don't worry about the game instructions. They don't know how to explain their own game. Then the next thing down here is your mail. You can get mail, which is mails between players here in the map. You send each other mail, and you can read them here. Your alliance commanders can also send messages to the whole alliance, and they'll show up there. Battle reports is where you can see people attacking you, or you attacking other people, and that's what all this stuff is here. Zombie attack report is from you attacking zombies, and resource gathering is when you're gathering resources on tiles that are outside of your base. The next thing down here looks like a suitcase. This is your inventory, holds all of your stuff. The next one after that looks like a oak leaves and a star. It's your alliance information. If you're not in an alliance, you won't have that option. But then there are different settings associated with the alliance. The menu button just brings up and puts down the menu. Click on heroes. It gives you options associated with heroes. You can do your daily draws of your free tickets. And build is exactly what it sounds like. This is where you're going to find all of your buildings and all the other stuff that you can work on right now. If there's any highlighted, if there's any numbers that show there, these are things that are available to be built. those are all things I have to buy, so I don't have them. But you can also look and see what the requirements are for the next buildings that are not available currently. If you look here, for example, I don't have these blast missile factories, so on and so forth. So I have to have silo level 1 before I can build that. And that's true of all of these. Like I said, though, if you do have other questions, please put them in the comments. Send me a message directly if you want to, or ask somebody else, I guess. I am happy to make more videos. I am happy to answer questions. And if there is something that is not clear from the video, please say so. I would be pleased to explain things better. And I apologize because a lot of this stuff happened to me so long ago. I maybe went too fast. So I get that. Ask a question and I'm happy to answer. Again, thanks very much for watching my videos. Check out the other ones. And we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Thanks very much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe so that I can keep making content for you. And if you have any questions, ask right here below in the comments.